What is wrong with it? Why is it happening? They say, no, it's international, this, that, America is wanting money. Oh, that's all rubbish. There are three explicit reasons for this decline. The first is that our politicians who are corrupt and in power are feeling scared that they may not come back to power. And then there's already a committee called Action Committee Against Corruption in India, so on which Gurumurthy and I are both together. At least on one place we are together. That's a good thing. And this committee and all Ramdev, everybody is going to pay for blood of these politicians. So all of them are dumping the containers of cash that they have in the Hawala market. And therefore, this supply of rupees is increased, and therefore this decline has taken place. Because when the supply of rupees increases and the availability of dollars is less, then naturally the price of rupee will go up. This is reason number one. Reason number two is that the country is bleeding in its exports-import balance, what is called the current account deficit. It's a huge difference. And why is that? Because we invented a fiscal instrument about which Venkatesh has written about, and he has understood the instrument very well. It's called a derivative, which is called participatory note. And almost more than 2/3 of our money in foreign investment comes through that. And what is this instrument? It's only available in India, nowhere else. Only for Indian citizens you can get participatory note. Participatory note is issued to you if you are an Indian citizen by Morgan Stanley and US Fidelity Investments and so on. If you are an Indian citizen, you go to your Switzerland bank, you withdraw some money, and you take that and put it on the counter of, say, Morgan Stanley, and say, give me a participatory note of an equivalent amount. Then the company will say, where's your Indian passport? You show your Indian passport, and that's easy to get. Even if you're not an Indian passport also you can get. Many terrorists do that M.K. Narayanan had pointed it out. And they will give you a piece of paper which is called a participatory note, nice, very nice looking one, on very good paper. But it will not have any serial number, it will not have any name. Just the amount will be there. It's like a currency. Just the amount will be there. So you take that participatory note and bring it to India, make a photostat copy and give it to the Reserve Bank. They'll give you a small receipt, which you take to the stock market and you give it to the stockbroker and he will invest. Naturally, if you bring large amounts, the stock shares will shoot up. When it reaches a certain height, you think that's about as high it will go, you sell. The difference in the price you bought the low price stock and the final price, that is given to you by the stockbroker in rupees. You take the rupees to the Reserve Bank and say, please give me dollars, because under the scheme, if you bring money by participatory notes and make investments and earn on it, all that is convertible in dollars. So you converted it in dollars, and then you take it abroad, and you are now taking it abroad in white. This idea occurred to Chidambaram and Ms. Sonia Gandhi, because they found that their accounts in Switzerland, they were not getting interest on the deposit. They were being charged a service charge. That means 2% being cut out. And the Swiss people were so smart that they took 2% service charge and took that money and invested in the American bond market and got 4%, 6% for doing without any work on Indian money. We have, one estimate says, $1.5 trillion abroad of Indians in illegal bank account. We can bring it back. That should be a task of the government. $1.5 trillion means multiplied by 7, that means what? 105 lakh crore rupees. 105 lakh crore rupees. What is the total tax bill of India? 4 lakh crore rupees. 105 lakh crore rupees comes back to India. How many years? 25 years you don't have to pay tax. And there is not only income tax. Income tax, indirect tax, excise tax, sales tax, all that combined. 4.5 lakh crores. And you can finance it by that. There is a way of doing it. I will explain it in a brief moment. But this is how it's happened. Now there was one problem that was raised, I believe by Ms. Sonia Gandhi to Chidambaram, that you see, when you make so much money in the stock market, you have to pay capital gains tax. And that is 30%. So is there any way to get around that? So they came up with a bright idea that if you invest in Mauritius and create a company there, and the company comes here and invests, and how much money do you need minimum to form a company in Mauritius? $1. So $1 company come here and that invests. You own the $1, so you are 100% owner of that company, and you invest in the stock market. Then, because Mauritius is a poor country, and very friendly to us, lots of expat Indian immigrants there, etc. So the government passed a law saying that any investment in the stock market or anywhere by Mauritius companies is exempt from capital gains tax. So you have to pay 30%, but not Mauritius company. That's why I found in 2G that so many companies had offices in Mauritius. Not only in Mauritius, but in the same street of Mauritius. Not only in the same street of Mauritius, in the same building of Mauritius. Not only in the same building, but in the same room also. It's a dud address. I found this in 2G. All of them have got it. Because Mauritius means you are exempt from all kinds of tax. So this money comes in. Plus participatory note money if you bring, it's called hot money, and therefore it can leave any time. It's not like FDI that you buy shares and then you have to sell the shares and then repatriate the money. There's a process. But here it is just simply decide, I am going out, go. And lot of participatory money has gone out. Therefore they have dumped rupees and taken dollars and gone out, and that is another reason for the fall. And the third reason is that there is a powerful minister who makes financial policy, whose son sits in Singapore all the time. Sometimes in London, but mostly in Singapore. And he does short selling. Short selling is equivalent to currency forward trading. He says, next week, you give me $1 and I'll pay you, and I'm required to pay you back this $1. That means 60 rupees, say. And a week later, I will give you back this $, 60 rupees plus maybe 1 rupee as your profit, or 2 rupees. The short selling is based on the principle that in 1 week's time the price of the rupee will go from 60 rupees to $1 to 65 or 68. So therefore, without any money in your pocket, you borrowed, this is again called a derivative principle, you borrowed $1, pledged it that you will return it in 1 week's time, and then you make a killing because you will get, say, 8 rupees extra, which you will give 1 or 2 rupees back, and the remaining is pure profit. And people are making in crores and crores, not even crores, 10,000 crores, 20,000 crores, like that. But you got to make sure that the price doesn't fall below 60. Then you are finished. And how can you make sure The Reserve Bank must listen to you. The Finance Ministry should listen to you. That they shouldn't come out with some policy like, for instance, the Finance Ministry wants to reduce the rupee-dollar ratio. All they have to do is they got $277 billion in foreign exchange. You take out 20 and put it in the market in one day. It will come down to 50 immediately. But you got to make sure the Reserve Bank will not do that. You got to make sure that the Finance Minister will be able to tell the Reserve Bank governor you can't do it. And to make sure of that, you better be the son of the Finance Minister. That's the only way. So if you arrest the Hawala people, 5-6 prominent ones, for doing illegal, it is what they're doing. Hawala is illegal activity. You start questioning those who are doing short selling in Singapore. It's very well documented. And you abolish participatory notes. The rupee rate, in my opinion, will come down to 25 rupees to $1. This is my prediction. If a government is determined to do it, it can do it within 6 months because you don't want to give too much of a shock. You can do it in stages. In any case, when people see that you are coming that way, most of the crooks will start running away. So, therefore, this has a solution. And in my opinion, this is an important one.